This is your dose of daily market wisdom with master trader Nick Santiago. Starting from humble beginnings, Nick has been beating the markets for over 2 decades. He shares with you his take on the profitable trades that will have you moving towards financial freedom in no time at all. To see an in-depth review of his track record and much more, go to inthemoneystocks.com.
Welcome. This is your daily dose of daily market wisdom with master trader Nick Santiago. I'm Kerry Lutz. Today is 10/29/20. This is show number 148. Well, we got the GDP results today, Nick, huh?
Yes, we did, and they were pretty big. They were much better than expected. I believe third quarter GDP increased by an annualized rate of 33.1%. That number was better than expected. It also shows what can happen if you open up the economy. I mean, think about it. You could have this number go a lot higher if we were open everywhere. So again, that isn't the case. But just think about it. You could have this economy back up and running pretty quickly if you just open up.
Yeah, it seems like a very simple matter, but not when politics get involved, right?
No, not when politics get involved, and this is all political.
All political. I mean, hey, look, yesterday they had day before yesterday on the 27th in Florida, 0 reported deaths. They update them, but, we're looking 20, 30, 40 a day at the most. That's, after they add in all the cases that have been sitting around that they haven't been able to figure out. And the presumption is if you died now, you died of COVID. So when we consider all of that, really, what are we doing here?
Yeah, what are we doing here? That's the million-dollar question. I also have seen a lot of reports now where COVID cases have so-called spiked around the country, but miraculously, the flu has disappeared. So I guess the flu is on vacation, and it's letting COVID stand in its place. So that seems to be going on as well right now.
Hey, yeah, so isn't that an amazing thing that we finally found a cure to the flu? It's COVID, right?
Yeah, it took a long time, but guess after 100 years, that was the cure.
Yeah, that's all we needed, huh? It just because the people who were going to really suffer most from the flu got COVID instead. That's what's appearing to be so far.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at all of these statistics, and I'm a numbers guy myself, so I go through these numbers, and I'm looking, and I'm saying, it's almost as if the flu is gone, and all we get now is a spike in COVID cases. I mean, if we haven't been duped enough, I mean, what are we doing here? This is getting ridiculous, but the powers that be, they just keep pushing that story, so it's just the world we live in, I guess, today.
And we've got like a bunch of conspiracy theories. What they're trying to do basically is global reset, the Great Reset, take the dollar off being the reserve currency. I guess that's probably the only way that they can really beat Trump.
It probably is the only way, and but that's actually happening. There's been, you get all of these European forces, you got all these billionaire power brokers, and they're all on the same page. They all come from the same school of thinking. So again, you got to be careful of that. I mean, I'm for my country. I want my country to succeed. I want my children to do well. I'm not looking to be part of the sheep. If you look at what socialism and communism have done around the world, whether it's Cuba, whether it's Venezuela, whether it's Argentina numerous times, I mean, is that the world you want to live in? I'm opting for the world I'm in right now.
Hey, and I'll take that. Although this world, who knows, it could be coming to an end as we know it, going on to a new era, but hopefully better than the last one. Well, weekly jobless claims also better than expected.
Yeah, we had more numbers, and the weekly claims report was 751,000 new claims. The continuing claims dropped to 7.75 million from a revised count of 8.46 million. So things are improving on that front as well, and that's good to see. We're well below the million marker, which was kind of the benchmark. You didn't want to be above that number, the million marker. Now we're down around 751,000. It's definitely improving.
Hey, for sure. So yesterday we had pretty major sell-off.
Yeah, yesterday we had a big sell-off, no doubt about it. You also had some of these CEOs that run the social media platforms up on Capitol Hill, and some were getting grilled, others were not, and that added a little bit of fuel to yesterday's sell-off fire. But again, a lot of people are talking, or I should say, a lot of the people in the news, the talking heads in the media, are blaming this on coronavirus cases, European and Australian lockdowns. I personally believe this is all about the election. And, I've stated that, well, we may talk about coronavirus here or there in the U.S. I don't see the U.S. shutting down again. Maybe places will have to try to put out the fire if they get a little bit of a flare up. But this is all political. This is all about this election and everything that you see geopolitically right now. If you just put the pieces of the puzzle together, it's all about this election. So I can't wait for the election to be over. Personally, hopefully it goes smooth and we get a defined winner without any real backlash, and we move on.
Yeah, it's time to move on for sure and get through this election. It's so divisive and so insane in so many different ways. And the sooner it's over with, like you said, the better. So gold and silver also took a hit yesterday.
Yeah, so yesterday we had a pretty good sell-off in gold and silver, and today you have gold down a little bit. Gold's right now down about another $7 on the futures, trading around 1872. But yesterday was a big hit for everything. The baby was thrown out with the bathwater. It didn't matter really what it was. It was just what we call a 90% down day. It was even more than that. And everything sold off. Money came off the table all across the board. It didn't matter if it was precious metals. It didn't matter if it was stocks. It just came out of the market and went on the sidelines. And, all in all, when that happens, you just sit back and you say, all right, this is that kind of day where we were due for one. Today, we're getting a little bit of a rebound. Nice to see. We'll see if we can hold it into the closing bell. But again, you can never rule out anything ahead of this election. Once we get through this election, which is, basically just 3 more trading days away, 5 days in total, then, things will get back to normal a little bit. But this right now is just a market that can still be somewhat turbulent. And, I've been talking about that for the last few weeks, saying, hey, don't take anything for granted out here. Use the best chart patterns you could find. Don't overload yourself in a lot of positions just because we're going to get this kind of election whipsaw. And I think gold just came under that heading yesterday.
Yeah, and it's been trading sideways to down since August 8th. So a 90-day retracement pullback, not unusual.
No, not unusual. In fact, anytime you go parabolic on a monthly chart basis, this is what you want to see. This is healthy. I mean, think about it. And I guess I'll use the GLD because a lot of people at home can follow that pretty easily. The high on August 6th in the GLD was 194. We're at 176 right now. I mean, this is what you want to see when you talk about sideways consolidation, when you talk about an ABC down. This is as good as an ABC down as you're going to find. So, again, I think it needs to do a little bit more of it, but I actually love what it's doing. This is very, very good for if you're bullish longer term. And again, I'd like to even see more consolidation personally, because that just tells me the bigger move is in the card.
Well, we'll see about whether gold hits that 1850 support level, whether it breaks it or not. I guess that'll tell us a lot.
Well, even if we get to 1850, which realistically was touched on September 24th when the market declined as well, we got down to 1851, 1852, and that's around September 24th. Even if we break that, you could go all the way down to 1800 and still technically be okay, because that's where you had your big breakout base in the month of July, right around July 17th. So there's really nothing terrible if you go down to 1800. Even if you were to even go lower, and I'm just going to lowball it here and say 1700, that will give you an absolute monster setup on a bigger time frame. So again, these things can happen, and you just got to let them play themselves out. And when gold gives you the signal, that's when you jump on board.
Hey, and I think we'll leave it at that. So just keep your eyes open. Only 3 more trading days to go till we're past the election, and then we'll find out what's really happening. And if you want to find out what's really happening, go over to inthemoneystocks.com. check out Nick's extensive trading record, check out the Twitter feeds at ITMS, at Nick Santiago01, at Kerry Lutz. Send us your emails. We'll cover them tomorrow. KL@kerrylutz.com. That's the email address. And Nick will pick up on Friday.
Sounds good.
And so concludes another episode of Daily Market Wisdom with Master Trader Nick Santiago. Be sure to go to his website, inthemoneystocks.com. Don't forget the Twitter feeds at ITMS and at Nick Santiago01.